In a small village, deep in the heart of Africa, there lived a young girl named Imani. She was known for her adventurous spirit and her love for exploring the thick jungles and vast plains that surrounded her village. Her parents were not so comfortable about her exploration, but as she grew with no change in sight, they gave up on trying to tame her adventurous spirit. Imani's inquisitive nature often led her to stumble upon ancient artifacts and hidden treasures abandoned by the older generation in the dense forest. But little did she know that her greatest adventure was about to unfold. One day, Imani has been wandering through the jungles when she came across a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood a large oak tree with a mirror hanging from one of its branches. The mirror was unlike any she had seen before. It was intricately carved with symbols and patterns that she could not decipher. As she approached the mirror, she noticed that it glowed with an otherworldly light. Curiosity got the better of Imani. She reached out to touch the mirror. As soon as her fingers made contact, she was transported into another realm. She stood in a vast desert, surrounded by towering dunes and a scorching sun. In front of her stood a wise old man with a long white beard.
Greetings, Imani. I am the guardian of this magic mirror. It can transport you to different worlds and grant you any which you desire.
Imani was amazed by the old man's words and immediately started daydreaming about all the amazing adventures she could have with the mirror.
But be careful, Imani. Only use the power when necessary. There are dire consequences when its powers are abused.
In one swoop, the mirror sucked her in, transporting her to her village. Imani shared her discovery with her parents and the villagers, but only a few believed her. The ones who believed became her adventurous companions. From that day on, Imani and her friends would often visit the mirror and travel to different worlds. But as time went by, Imani and her new friends became greedy and started traveling deeper into various timelines. They would explore ancient temples, swim in crystal clear oceans, and even fly with dragons. One day, Imani and her friends teleported to the land of the fairies. The mesmerizing land captivated their hearts. They never realized the fairy world only existed on a slower timeline. When it was time to leave, they used the magical mirror as usual, but something was different this time about their village. The vibrant village buzzing with birds chirping and goats bleating was a shadow of itself. They were in a dark and eerie land. The sky was black and the ground was made of bones.
Imani, what's going on? This isn't home.
One of them says, terrified. Immediately, the wise old man's word triggered Imani's memory. She realizes that the old man's warning has come true. They had used the mirror's power recklessly, and now they were paying the price. When she thought all hope was lost, the old man appeared before her.
You all spent a long time in the fairy world. A minute in there is equivalent to a month on Earth. Yet, you were gone for 3 days. This land is the future of your village. While you were away having fun with the mirror, the invaders came, taking some and slaughtering the rest. No one was available to bury the dead. Nature did her thing, and this is the remains of your ancestors.
Imani and her travel companions realizes their mistakes. Their hearts heavy with guilt. They wept. The mirror, the gateway to their fantastical worlds, has become their worst nightmare.
There is a way out.
The wise old man interrupts the emotional mood.
Whilst you all were having fun in the fairy world, a mischievous fairy was envious of your ability to teleport anywhere at any time. She wanted the mirror for herself, but was not sure where it was. A quest to find the mirror led to the destruction of your village. You will have to travel to the fairy dream world to find Lizalin's weakness. Bring her in and make her manifest her true intent to the fairy queen. The fairy queen will not easily turn against her kind without proof. Yet only she possessed the ability to undo time.
The wise man flips the mirror to reveal a long wailing path glittering with various shades of stars.
This path will take you to the fairy dream world, but time is your enemy. You have only 7 sunrises before your timeline merges with this desolate one, forever trapping you all.
The wise old man disappears, leaving Imani and her friends to decide their fate. They dived into the fairy dream world and searched for a doorway with the word Lizalin. Our dream world was plagued with a wormhole that pulled them into an archive. Lizalin was the only fairy born without magic in the Fairyland. When she was of schooling age, she could not fit in anywhere due to a lack of magic. The Helen fairies tried every potion and spell from the ancient books, but none worked. After Fae school, Lizalin was assigned to be a registrar, stuck in the Fae office while her friends were sent on adventures outside the Fae world. Soon, Lizalin was left alone in the office as her friends were busy with their jobs. Each lonely day was unbearable for her until Imani and her friends visited the fairy world. The beacon of hope shone on her as she divulged the plan to get the mirror to grant her request. She seeks the assistance of a witch who resides at the threshold of human and the fairy world. The witch agreed for a prize, the bones of dead fairies. In Lizaren's desperation to be a full fairy with wings and travel on adventures like her friends, she agrees without thinking about the witch's ulterior motives. The witch sent a group of demonic mercenaries to acquire the mirror. In their bloodthirst, they slaughter the villagers. At this instant, the tunnel ejects them as they all land in front of the magical mirror. Imani and her friends, knowing what must be done, rushed into the fairyland and arrives at the fair office. Lizalin was surprised at the humans' visit with a gloomy look on their faces.
I have no power to help you. Why don't you meet the other fates for whatever assistance you might seek?
Imani explains the chaos they face if she does not tell the queen about her dealings with the witch.
Oh my, I can't. If I do, the queen might banish me forever. We are banned from meeting the witches, but my desperation led me there.
We understand that now after visiting your dream world. But if you help us, I promise to give you the mirror to grant you any request you so desire.
Lizalin felt this was a fair deal. She led them to the queen's palace and confessed her mistakes with remorse. The queen listened and was silent for a while before she spoke.
I understand your reason for seeking the forbidden witch. I am glad you have learnt your lesson.
She turns to Imani.
Take us to the mirror.
They all arrived at the mirror. With one tap of the queen's staff to the ground, the surroundings moved like they were experiencing a violent earthquake.
It is done. To avoid the mirror getting into the wrong hand and be misused, it will remain here for safekeeping.
She declares.
Make your wish, Lizalin.
Lizalin did and felt her body get lighter.
I am flying!
She screamed in joy. Imani and her friends thanked the fairy queen before the mirror sucked them in. This time, they arrived at their village bustling with life and the familiar faces of people they know. They all rushed home, hugging their families as they shared their experiences. Everyone learned a valuable lesson to never misuse magic. Lizalin was appointed a dream fairy. She zoomed around dream worlds, meeting up with her human friends. They all shared their day experiences, making sure everyone wake up feeling happy and full of wonders.
Tell us what you think about the video in the comments and subscribe so you don't miss more stories when they drop.